So today we're going to be doing a what's for dinner video. Not something we typically do in this format. We share a lot of cooking, but not like this. Last week I didn't really grocery shop. I got some groceries, but didn't get a ton of groceries. I just did not have the mental capacity of making a list and making a plan and whatnot. So I figured it would be a good time to clean out some of our pantry and freezer. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to share those recipes with you. I'm going to try to, I'm trying to create recipes as I go. I'm new to actually sharing recipes. Typically I will share like what my plan came from if I have one, or I tell you just to watch as I do it, because I don't follow recipes. And I definitely don't make recipes per se, like to share. So it's new for me to be able to, try to be mindful of making sure I write everything down and whatnot. So if you look at the recipes and you're like, something seems off, let me know and I will try to fix it for you. I'm new to sharing the way that I've been trying to share, but I really enjoy having it that way, so that I have a place where I can print stuff off and maybe, put it into little cookbooks or whatever for my own kids and whatnot. So we'll see. But if you've noticed something and you're like looking at the potato soup and it misses potatoes, you might be, you might be like, girl, check it. So but I'm trying. I'll slowly get there. Hopefully that's the plan anyways. But today we're going to be sharing a couple of recipes that we threw together, which is things that we had in our pantry and whatnot, pantry, freezer, and just trying to get through some of that stuff so that I can get it nice and clean, because it is a hot mess, and restock with some fresh stuff. So we're going to go ahead and jump in the video. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe down below. We would love to have you join our family. And we're going to go ahead and jump right in. So the first one up is loaded potato soup. It's one of those meals that is not too cute, but it is absolutely delicious and super filling. We're going to start with, this is a bag of frozen homemade chicken stock. So when I make the recipe, I'm going to try to, adapt to where you can do whatever. That made no sense. The recipe will have, the adaptation for not having your homemade frozen chicken stock. That's how I like to keep mine, is frozen. And in little baggies of like 1 cup-ish amounts each, and then I freeze it laying down. It keeps well, and then I'm still a little weary about canning stuff. I've slowly gotten better, but there's certain things that still kind of, I don't know. I'm just not secure in canning and feeling safe with certain things. But I also enjoy freezing stuff anyways, take up less space in the pantry and whatnot. But I put my frozen broth in there just to start thawing out, and then we're going to chop up our potatoes. I really enjoy this veggie chopper that we got recently. It definitely has a learning curve, but we're getting there. But I like that it makes everything more even, because I'm definitely not a cook it even kind of gal. I mean, cut it even kind of gal, but this helps me out a lot. I had some struggles with my carrots back there, and John told me maybe I needed to use less to make it easier to get through. He was right. He was. I'd put 1 or 2 on here after I cut them in half and just chopped right through them, and no problem. I gave him credit because he deserved it. But we're just going to go ahead and get the veggies in here. Now, this is a loaded potato soup. You could add more to it. I would have loved to add some broccoli as well, but I didn't have any. If you do add broccoli, you want to go light on it, because broccoli can be overpowering, which isn't a problem for me, honestly, because I really love broccoli. But I would have liked to add some broccoli, and then I also would have liked to top mine with some sour cream or something, and we didn't have none of that. I wouldn't have added it to the soup because John would probably divorce me, but just kidding. Hopefully we wouldn't tempt it. But I'm just sharing here. I don't know. I recorded the whole thing, but then I did try to, cut it down to where it's a little bit easier to watch for you all, and just easier for me to edit and get through. You get the gist of it. You get to watch me cook it, but you don't have to sit and watch me do the entire thing either. Side note, I get confused on what I should do if I'm doing voiceovers. Like, should I talk the entire time? Should I include some music? But you can only say so much about soup. I mean, we're done. No, we're not. I said in the recipe to add bacon. Now, I did not feel like cooking up no bacon. I don't think we had bacon. But even if we did, I wouldn't have felt like it. But we did have real bacon bits that I needed to use up anyways. So I added probably about 1/4 cup to it when it first started. I figured that would help it get more, together, get more of the bacon flavor throughout the soup. Now, for this part, you don't have to do this. You can just throw it all into the crock pot, but I'm very weird about, my cream cheese not being completely mixed in. So I microwaved the cream cheese. It was already sitting out at room temperature, but I microwaved it to get it even more thin. Now, I wish I would have microwaved the milk, because when I added the milk, it did make it clump up just a little bit. And the warm milk would have helped it not to clump. I'm going to put in the notes, the recipe for you to warm your milk. I didn't do it. But it still worked out fine. And like I said, you could probably just throw it all in there and it would work out perfectly fine. But sometimes I do find that the cream cheese stays just a little bit lumpy if I don't do it this way. And I don't like it to be lumpy. So I'm just mixing it together, getting it nice and smooth, or as smooth as I can get it with my cold milk. And then we're just going to pour it into the soup mixture. Now, I end up going back in with the rest of the ranch powder. I thought that 1/2 packet would be enough, but it didn't give it enough of the ranch flavor. So I did go back in and add the rest of it to help it, just have a little bit more flavor, because we wanted this to be loaded. We wanted to taste the ranch. We wanted to taste the bacon. You could add shredded cheese, but we didn't. We're going to get this mixed in though, and then I will add in more bacon bits. And then of course we're going to garnish it with some more bacon bits once we get it into the bowl. And of course rolls, just because carbs need more carbs. But this was absolutely delicious. We all that ate this really enjoyed it. And if you've been around for any amount of time, you have definitely seen our Crockpot chicken tacos. It is a favorite. The girls are like hyper fixated on it currently. Spoiler, we actually had this again today for dinner. They actually had it for lunch because Jonathan and Kim came over, but it was already done. And then they'll probably have the same thing for dinner because there's some left over. So I don't always add the chicken bouillon. I am trying to make it better. I'm always trying to make things improve. So I did add chicken bouillon. I think it actually did help. However, this time I only had 1/2 packet of this Taco Bell seasoning. So I used 1/2 packet of this and then used a packet of the Great Value taco seasoning. It was a little salty for my taste. And I think if I would have left out the 1/2 packet or left out the chicken bouillon, it would have been less salty. I must be super sensitive to salt though, as far as like tasting it compared to the rest of my family. Because I can make something and I'll be like, it's a little salty. And then John will taste it and be like, no, it's not. It actually needs more salt. So, and Lily's the same way with stuff. So maybe it's just me. I don't know. But this variation, because I am always changing stuff, we did chicken bouillon. And then I figured we'd add a little butter just to give it a little bit more flavor. Probably didn't help with the salt content either. Like I said, I was the only person that noticed it. But it was really good. And then I always just take and shred it up with either some forks or my meat chunker. What is this thing? You know what it is. I guess you see it here. And it works really good. I've used the hand mixer before, but typically it like throws it out and it's hot and just messy. So I just prefer to do it this way. These come out good. Like I said, those a little salty for my taste. Nobody else complained, and this is one of those meals that there is never any leftovers. Well, let's rephrase that. There's never any wasted, because anytime that there's any leftovers, it always gets eaten the next day, and it's literally never wasted. So this is always a go-to meal for us. Plus, it's super easy for me, super simple. You can serve it on tortillas, which is our typical go-to, but you can also do chicken nachos. And then today for lunch, actually, when I had this, I put it on a baked potato that we had left over from dinner. And it was really good that way, too. I just put some cheese, the taco chicken, and baked potato with just a little bit of ranch because I'm weird, but it was delicious. It was really good. So this is definitely a favorite, and it's a favorite for me because it is quick, easy, and it's a nice protein. It's a fairly decent meal, if I do say so myself. Now this one was definitely just a what do we got in the pantry kind of meal. And I remembered that we had some pork chops frozen, so I figured we would throw some of those in the air fryer. I had a friend tell me that that's how she cooked hers, and I don't know if she ever replied. If she did, it's really hard to reply. Like if somebody comments and I reply to it, and then they reply back, it's gone unless I go onto the YouTube app. And then on the YouTube app, it's just, there's a lot going on as a content creator, as a content consumer. There's a lot going on there. So I typically do miss those. So she could have commented back and told me how that she makes hers in the air fryer, but I missed it. So I decided that I was just going to make some in the air fryer with barbecue, but I wanted baked potatoes to go with those because it just sounded really good, and we had some in the pantry that needed to be used. I did plan on baking the potatoes, but the day got away with me, story of my life, and so I just threw them in the Instant Pot. They're just as good this way, almost as good. The skin isn't crispy like an actual traditional baked potato, but they're nice and fluffy and taste good nonetheless. So for the pork chops, I am going to air fry them, but we're going to take some barbecue sauce, some W sauce, because we can't say that word, at least correctly, as well as just some garlic and onion powder, and then we're going to toss the pork chops in those, and then cook them in the crock pot till they're done. I mean, not crock pot, wrong appliance. The air fryer until they're done. Look, there's black pepper as well. Don't ask me how long I cooked them. I cooked them till they was done. Did I already say that? Jonathan and Kim was over here this night. It happens. We're happy for it. We appreciate it. The more times they come over now, the more times they'll be here when the baby comes. Just kidding. I mean, not really, but they're always welcome here. Like, they're welcome here every single day if they want to come. And sometimes they do come over here every single day, and that is perfectly fine for my mama heart. Anyways, back to the food. So I didn't know exactly how long I cooked them for, because like I said, we was talking and there's people in the kitchen and whatnot. We're just going to pop these in the air fryer, and I'm going to cook them until they're done. Now, I would have liked to added more barbecue sauce to them right before they was finished, but like we've already covered, I was talking and just distracted. They was good. Nobody complained about them, so it's fine. Not many people will eat these. I think this was more of the kids that already eat, so I just needed to throw something together for John and I. So this is what we came up with: baked potatoes, shells and cheese, and some barbecue pork chops. And it was pretty good. And then the actual night of like yo-yo whatever, we had some leftover rolls, some leftover chili from a previous video. It wasn't in here, as well as some of the blackened chicken. But it was all good. This was also the night that Lily realized she loved the blackened chicken tenders. So that was a win, I guess. Alright, friends, and with that, that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm a little rusty. Typically, this is not the kind of videos that I share, but I just figured it'd be fun to kind of change it up, especially because I'm trying to figure out a plan for the channel for this new year, and my mind don't work on the straight and narrow. It is all over the place. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure you stick around. If you're not part of our family, we would love to have you. We do hauls and cooking mostly on this channel. And I call it homemaking in the kitchen because that's typically what we share here. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next time. If you didn't enjoy this one, we'll try again on the next one. No promises. But we'll see you all next time. As always, remember to show grace, be content, and live blessed. Bye, friends.